Welcome back to K24 Alpha Jury. I'm your host, Sarah Ndanu Teshna. It's now that part of the show where we talk matters healthy and wise. And of course, joining me right now is Roseanne Kamau. Karibu sana K24 Alpha Jury.
Thank you so much, Sarah,
Day
for having me again.
I'm so excited.
Yes.
Yes. And by the way, yesterday I actually achieved a milestone because my dinner was 70% veggies.
No.
Yeah, so we're doing it. Yes, we're doing this, and I hope you guys are doing it, this as well. So today we're actually going to be talking about healthy, affordable meals because, you know, you guys back at home have been telling us that, you know what, some of the foods that you bring there are too expensive or we cannot actually access them. But today we are getting to show you the very affordable meals that you can buy from the Soko, and they're very healthy at the same time, right, Roseanne?
Absolutely, Sarah. And you know, I'm so excited about today's show because that's exactly what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about three things: healthy, healthy meals that are affordable, simple, tasty meals, and you're going to be my taste tester, girl.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Right? And then how do we make this a lifestyle, right? So if I can just take you back a little bit, if you recall, the first day I talked about how I had my high cholesterol, and I gained so much weight. And I needed to make this lifestyle change my mind so that I can completely make this as a lifestyle. So if the viewers haven't watched this, I'd love for them to go to K24, your YouTube page, get channel, to see that, right? Get to see what we talked about, or you can go to our website on Treasure Fitness and get to see this. Then yesterday was all things nutrition.
Exactly.
We talked about three things, the things that I believe are why we are having expanding waistlines, you know, carb-loaded foods, sugar-loaded foods, and now today it's going to be all about how then do we apply this in our day-to-day lives, right? True. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start with breakfast. All right. Now what we have here are simple breakfast meals. So we have, as you can see here, we have oatmeal. These are pancakes. They're made out of oatmeal. And what I'm going to do is we're going to be working on making some healthy oatmeal pancakes that's something that's going to help keep your blood sugars stable. All right. Because one of the things that typically happens is when you use the white flour, it tends, remember I talked about being a carbohydrate, it tends to be devoid of nutrients. And what it's going to do is it's going to raise your blood sugars. So what we're going to start with is, we start with oatmeal, regular oatmeal flour. All right. Right. So we have some oatmeal flour here. And what I'm going to have us do is, I've already made that mixture here. So we get oatmeal flour, get an egg, because we want to bind that.
So mix in the two, oatmeal and
an egg, right? Then you want to add a little bit of cinnamon in there for flavor, right? And then what I love to do is, especially so that kids can eat and make it tasty, I love to add a little bit of honey. Some honey, so we would add that honey in here. And then what you're going to do is put all this in the blender. Okay, and then blend it up. Now, I've already pre-blended one over here. So this is it? This is it.
Oatmeal, egg, and some honey, right?
Oatmeal, eggs, and honey. And that's already blended. Like, that's exactly how it looks like. Then you want to grab a little bit of flour, a little bit of oil.
And that's some coconut oil? This
is some coconut oil. Right. So we're going to put some... And this is very quick, right? So this is something, if you're looking for something healthy, something alternative, something that you're going to, hopefully you and your family will enjoy, this is something that I usually recommend for us to have for breakfast. So this is something I feed my family. So my kids will have this for breakfast. My husband's going to have this for breakfast, because I just think it's important to start their days in a healthy, with a healthy breakfast. Exactly. Right? Yeah. So we're going to just add that in there and get that cooking. Now, so I'm a mom of two girls. All right. And as a mom, one of the things that I've decided and determined is I want my kids to grow healthy. All right. And I want the kids to grow up knowing that, you know what, you can still eat the things that, you know, everybody wants to eat, right? Yeah. But still make them healthy and still make them tasty. Very true. So that's going to continue cooking. I've already made some of this, Sarah, and you can have
this is the end product, right?
This is the end product, yes. So what I'm going to have you do, Sarah, just grab it.
All right. Can I? Okay. Yeah. Just, all right. Oh, this is my favorite part.
And that is a good carbohydrate. Good. And you can have that with some eggs. And we're going to have that with what we're going to make the next here.
Do you know what? What? You can't tell the difference between this kind of a pancake and the one that we make with white flour. Seriously.
That's it.
I
That's
swear.
the whole idea.
You
That's
can't tell the difference.
Yes, yes, and that's what I want folks to understand. You're not going to tell the difference. And you know also what I do? If guests come to my house and let's say we're doing brunch or breakfast, I'll actually make these pancakes without saying they're oatmeal, and folks will finish them without necessarily, I'm like, hey, this is really good.
Well,
After you say it's oatmeal, like, oh, that was an oatmeal pancake? Sure enough, it was. Now, what I want to do, Sarah, so I have this part that I'm calling Operation Help Sarah Eat Her Vegetables. Because yesterday, Sarah shared with us, she doesn't like her vegetables.
I don't,
And you left him mortified and stressed. And I thought, how does this beautiful girl not eat her vegetables? So what I have here is I do have, I'm going to be making a smoothie for you. I got to learn you love some pineapples, so I'm going to throw in some pineapples here, at least give it some sweetness. Then I'm going to add some spinach. Now, I promise you, you're not going to taste the spinach. If you're looking to do a smoothie, this is one of the things that you might want to start with, because the spinach, any other foods that you use, the flavor gets picked up. So we're going to add some spinach in there. I'll add a little bit of zing in here. I'll add a little bit of zinc, so I've added a little bit of ginger. Again, this is stuff that's locally available that we can find. And then you said you love avocado.
A lot.
So I am going to add a little bit of avocado here because that fat is good for you. Remember yesterday we talked about fat and I said fat is fantastic for you? Let me turn it off. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of zinc and just add a little bit of lemon, in there for you. And then we're going to add some water.
That's water, right?
That's water, yeah. And you can do anything. If your kids love milk, you can add milk in there.
Yeah.
Or you can add
all right.
that blender of ours.
Where is it?
There we go.
Perfect.
Now, this smoothie is something that I highly encourage people to eat every single day. Matter of fact, as a matter of fact, this is the smoothie we actually had this morning. So for my family, every morning, my kids have to have a smoothie, my husband has to have a smoothie. So this is what I have made, and I want you, it's probably a little bit on the thick side. Do you like thick or a little?
Whichever.
Whichever, it doesn't matter.
Good.
Okay, here we go. I probably need to blend it a little
so
bit more.
you substitute milk or tea for this.
So, like, I'm lactose intolerant. So I personally don't, you too. So I don't do milk. So you can substitute with water, which is perfect, which for me is super affordable. So I want you to try that. Let me know what you think of it. Oops, sorry.
Really amazing.
Thank
Seriously,
you.
Yes.
Oh, thank you very much. And what I love about it, again, you're getting your nutrients in here. I probably should have blended it a little bit longer. But you get your nutrients in here. Right? Do you love that? Cheers. Yeah?
Cheers.
That's really good. Now,
It's so yummy.
Now, let me ask
And
you,
you
Sarah.
can't even test the spinach, first of all,
That's awesome. So let me ask you, Sarah, do you think that this is something you can start with? Baby steps?
This is something that I'm going to start with tonight.
I love that.
Yes.
Awesome. I think
tonight.
we have one.
Yes, this is my dinner,
yes.
and I'll be posting that on social media. So
So we're going to hold her accountable. I love that. I love that. Oh, thank you so
Yeah.
much, Sarah. So instead of eating the starchy carbohydrates, the processed foods we talked about, the mandazis, the breads, this is something that's going to help our waistline. So you have your pancakes, you have your eggs. Again, it's important to add that protein in there. And then you have the smoothies. And also, there are some people, Sarah, who are not either don't eat in the morning, or people who say, you know what, I'm not going to eat breakfast because I'm trying to lose weight. But that's the worst thing that you want to do for yourself. Because what you're doing is you're setting yourself up for failure later on in the day.
Exactly.
Because what happens is when you skip your breakfast, when you skip especially your proteins, your fats specifically, you're going to start craving all the wrong things later on in the day.
All right.
And then because you're so hungry, what happens is you're getting to see all these other foods that you love, the mandazis, right? And then
being
at that
passed
moment,
around, so you want to grab them as well.
Yes, and so your willpower is down, and so you end up eating all the wrong things, and so the waistline continues to expand. So this is a good way to start a breakfast. And also, instead of that avocado, you could also use a peanut butter to add in there. to get your fats in there. Those are the good fats that we love. Okay.
Now let me just go back to the eggs. Do you have them boiled, or you can just have them scrambled, or in any other way?
Remember, we talked about personalization yesterday. Any way you want them.
Okay.
We want this to be a lifestyle. So you can boil them, you can stir fry them, you can poach them, whatever works for you. But then don't use too much oil. It's very important to just use as little oil as possible.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right.
Then now we are going to move over to lunch, right over here. So one of the things that as I'm coaching my clients, I tend to realize a lot of people tend to eat a lot of carb-loaded meals for lunch.
Yeah, very true.
But what I've done is we've tried to switch it around and try to encourage folks to eat more vegetables. Because vegetables, and you are great, you are a great testament to this. A lot of people also don't eat a lot of vegetables. And vegetables are life. I mean, just look at these colors, how beautiful they are. So Sarah, we're going to create a plate for you.
Okay.
And I try to use some of the flavors that you love, that you enjoy. Perfect. But I'm also going to add a few things that I think you're going to absolutely love. So our base here, we have lettuce. And I love cutting them small so that it's easy to eat. Right?
To chew
then
as well,
and to chew. My hands are clean. So we're also going to add a little bit of spinach in here. Then we have some tomatoes.
Raw as they are?
Raw as they are. Just wait. You're my taste tester, so just be patient. I think you're going to love this. So you can use either cherry tomatoes, or you can use any tomatoes that you have that we can get at the supermarket. Again, these are affordable things that we find here in Kenya. And we're so lucky because we have such beautiful weather. We have beautiful weather, and God has just given us beautiful land where all these things grow so naturally.
Very true.
So we can add a few tomatoes in here. Then what we're going to do, I know you love your avocado.
Oh, yes, I
just
do.
had that.
That's bare right there.
Right, that's bare right there. So we are going to add some chicken.
Oh, wow.
Just because I think chicken is fantastic. It's a good protein. It's going to keep you full throughout the evening or throughout the day. And it's going to keep your blood sugar stable, so you're not craving all the wrong things.
All right. How did you make the chicken, by the way?
So this, you can either grill, you can either put it on a stove top and just let it saute. You can even boil them. By the way, I also boil my chicken. But then what I do is I add a lot of spices with little oil, and you let it cook for a long time. And then let it all simmer out, and all those spices just seep in there. So I have all these recipes, by the way, on my website at treasurefitness.com. All these recipes are in here. So this, we're going to add the chicken. Then I know you love apples. So I decided, let me incorporate some apples for Miss Sarah. See if we can get her to at least eat some more vegetables. I also know you love mango.
A lot.
A lot, right? So let's add this mango in here for you. Now look at those colors. And what I want you to do...
It's a rainbow.
It's a rainbow.
It is,
Now I want you to stir that up, because this is going to be your meal. And then, Sarah, because you have a sweet tooth, and I do recognize that you have a sweet tooth. Give me that spoon right here. Sorry. We are going to add... This is homemade dressing. I make all these dressings at home, again, with locally available ingredients.
So what do you have in there?
In here is honey. We have olive oil. We have ginger. And balsamic vinegar. Again, all this is here. That's available. So I'm going to give you not much. A tablespoon should be enough. And let me adjust a little bit. And what you're going to do is I want you to stir that up really, really well. So that the flavors can really kick in there.
That way, All right.
And so we want you to take a bite of a little bit of everything. So she has there, we've got our lettuce, our spinach, we have chicken. I've added some apples for her. I've added some mango. And let's see what you say, if you love this, or if this is something maybe you could eat.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's about to go down.
It's about to go down.
Honestly, this is so good. Like, honestly, it's so, so good.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I think what we do is just add in all those flavors in. So one of the things that I say, because a lot of people, I have a client actually, and I know she's watching right now, she never used to eat salads. And so I told her, you can start and still add the fruits that you love, because you know fruits do have sugar. And what happens is over time, you change your palate, and you actually start craving all the good and healthy vegetables. So that's what we ended up doing. She's ended up losing a ton of weight, and now she's made this her lifestyle. Miss Linda, she has. All right? Keep carrying on. Now, what else you could do, I'd love to add that. You could also add some nuts in here for some fat. If you don't do nuts, because we know you love your avocado,
Yeah.
you can also add that avocado in here. Now, let me also add one thing. There are people like my husband who have a super high metabolism. And just so you know, this is what he's having for dinner. I mean, for lunch today. What I did was I decided I was going to bring all the things that I actually cook at home and what we normally eat. That's what we had last night for dinner. We had that.
Oh, wow.
We're going into that.
All right.
This is what we've carried for lunch. Everyone in my family has carried for lunch.
Yeah.
And this is what we're going to have for breakfast, the smoothies and whatnot. But for my husband, who has such a super high metabolism, for him and for anyone else who has a high metabolism, I'd love to add a starch on the side so that it fills you and really holds you. So for him, he carried some sweet potatoes. I believe we mashed some sweet potatoes. So you can carry some sweet potatoes. You can add some beans, some githeri. I love adding githeri on top of this.
Oh, wow.
Because now the beans, the corn, it just becomes fully balanced.
Exactly,
and
yeah.
it's really healthy and tasty for you.
Very true.
All right.
So this is the mashed potatoes?
No, now this is actually our dinner.
Okay.
And I'm going to take us through what I normally do. So we're going to be making a butter soup.
I really hope you don't mind because I'm
No,
in
go,
my
go,
element right
girl.
now. All right,
Listen,
perfect,
we
all
got
right.
Sarah
Okay.
eating her
Oh,
the
yes.
vegetables, so I think that's a win-win-win through and through and through. All right, so here we have for dinner. If we come over, what I suggest is two things. Number one, for dinner, it's important that we're eating our dinners at least 3 to 4 hours before you go to bed.
Okay.
Because generally, what I found is a lot of people tend to eat their dinner a few
minutes right before,
and
yeah.
then you're going to
Yeah.
sleep. But generally what happens, if you do that, what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to help your body metabolize really well because you're basically eating and then going to sleep. But what we want you to do is eat at least 3 to 4 hours, and
Yeah.
especially if you're looking to lose some fat,
Exactly.
eat a few hours before so that you can help your body metabolize and digest
Exactly.
better.
So if I'm going to bed at 9, I should be eating at 7.
8, 9, 6, 5. At 5.
5 p.m.
At 5 p.m. At 5 p.m.
Wow.
At 5 p.m.
All right.
5 to 6 p.m. So 3 to 4 hours. So
All right.
give yourself some leeway.
Okay.
So what we have here is what I call a simple, affordable breakfast meal. So I have, and I told somebody, don't tell anyone what's in there, but I basically have merengues, right? And what we're going to do is, the first thing I do is, first I boil the merengues. Once I boil them, or pumpkins, once I boil them, I then add some coconut flour, coconut oil. I think I mentioned yesterday, I love a lot of onions.
Oh, yes.
And
Yeah,
and then I add garlic. So you want to cook that. Because again, you want this food to be tasty. We're not
Yeah.
eating boiled foods that are boring.
Yeah.
And this is something that you can, we want to make this a lifestyle. Remember, we're not dieting, because one of the things that happens with diets is diets have a start date and an end date, okay? So we're working on making this a lifestyle. So we've got this going. We have these onions and garlic and ginger, sorry. And as a mom, again, I like to make my foods flavorful.
Exactly.
So with that, once it keeps on cooking, you could add a little bit of salt and pepper in there, right? So add your salt and pepper because you want it to taste the flavors that you love.
Yeah.
If you also have extra spices that you enjoy at home, please add them. Natural herbs. So we're talking dhania, parsley, rosemary. All these herbs are locally available. So you can add them into your pan.
All right. Okay.
And then once you do that, you're going to add the already boiled squash, right? So we're going to add that in here. Sorry.
So those you just boiled them. There was nothing else that.
There was absolutely nothing.
Did
in
you
it.
use some salt in that?
Yes.
No. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect,
We've
all right.
added salt in that mix over here,
Perfect,
right?
all right.
So we have our salt, we have our onions, we have our ginger, and then now we have those merengues. Once you cook them, and the flavor kicks in. So I'd cook those for about 5 minutes and keep stirring so that the flavor really picks in. Then we would add your water.
So, okay.
Okay? So you're going to add that water in here. And then let it simmer for about 10 minutes.
10 minutes,
So
all right.
in low heat, all this is going to simmer. Cover that and let it stay for 10 minutes. After you're done for 10 minutes, you're going to go back to your blender and blend it.
Okay.
That's it. So
All
go into your
right.
blender and blend
So
it.
after you blend, this is exactly what you get.
This is
but
what
I would
you
love us
get.
to do that, just to continue so that our viewers can see, because
Okay.
yeah, so that they can see the entire process.
Absolutely,
how,
absolutely.
You make that,
Okay, so as that's cooking,
Yeah.
so I'm going to have you, Sarah, taste a little bit of that.
Okay. Oh God, today is just that day. But I'm not complaining though.
There's no complaining whatsoever.
Really, really, really nice.
Really?
Like, honestly, guys, I'm not even pretending. You guys know me. I don't pretend with these things. I love food. This is good. This is absolutely good. This is something that I will take actually for breakfast or for dinner. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So the thing is, the whole idea is this. How do you make this a lifestyle? How are you not dieting? This is a good carbohydrate. It's one of those that you're going to eat, and it's going to keep you, it's going to give you the energy that you're looking for a carbohydrate. And as this is cooking, that I would combine with a vegetable. So here we've got our vegetables for dinner. Yeah. Right? So if you're looking to lose some fat, so you can have some soup and you can have some vegetables. All right. If you still feel like you need some more carbs, again, I would go for like a legume, which is beans or dengus, camandes, any of that is fantastic. So you can eat that and this, and you're good. Yeah. So make dinner your lightest meal. Exactly. And for those who missed the show yesterday, we actually, Roseanne actually told us something that we didn't know before, that beans are actually carbs. Yes, they are. Yeah. Yes, they're not proteins. They're carbs. They do have some protein in there, and especially because I have a lot of vegetarian clients. I have people in my ear complaining like, no, they are proteins. No, they're not proteins. They are carbs. They are carbs. And maybe we can clarify. The reason they are carbs, we look at the grams in each food, right? Exactly. So beans have more grams than they have carbohydrates. And that's why we have to classify them as a carbohydrate. Okay. Right? And so, but we have vegetarian clients. Like I coach a lot of vegetarian clients. So for them, how do we get those carbs in? Because I know you also have viewers who are vegetarian. Yeah, true. You can get those proteins in, you can get your proteins in from beans, from things like mushrooms, from dengus, from, you know, when you're making curries. So that's also another good way of sort of making those. So as that is getting ready, we're now going to take a short commercial break because I also need to empty my plate over here. So we're taking a short commercial break. Please do not go anywhere. All right. We'll be right back. Well, this is Healthy and Wise, and I'm still here with Roseanne Kamau. We have been giving you guys tips on your nutrition, and right about now, we are about to show you how to make your breakfast. But before that, as this is getting ready, let's talk about dieting, because you have showed us what to eat. Correct. This is what you should eat. This is how you should do it. Yes. There are a lot of mistakes that we make, especially people who want to lose weight. Right. And sometimes we are misled because, as you said, we didn't know before that beans are carbohydrates. And sometimes we take beans and then we take with chapo, and you're thinking that's a very balanced diet. Right. So give us more tips and some other things that we have been getting it wrong. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. So the first tip is if you're looking to change your lifestyle, you're looking to lose fat, Sarah, the first thing you want to do is, again, don't go on a diet, because diets do not work. They do work temporarily for only a very short period of time. But after a while, several studies have shown people get tired of diets, number one. I think I mentioned this in the past segments that we've done. I am not one who is huge on counting calories. And I'll tell you why. Studies also show that a lot of people get tired of counting calories. So the general population does not enjoy sitting down and having to count, oh, this is what I need to eat. Yes. And I really, truly don't believe personally that that's how God created us. If, however, you eat natural whole foods, that, you know, half of your plate, like that's almost 3/4 of the plate is loaded with vegetables. Veggies, Look at your salad. A lot of it is very flavorful, a lot of vegetables and fruits. You don't necessarily need to go on a diet. So the first mistake I think that a lot of people do is, number one, they make these decisions of going on a diet, number one, after they've either eaten a lot of food. Think about January 1st. Isn't that when everybody's making a diet? Gyms are very full, by the way. Isn't that when gyms are full? Because December holidays have come, we just let go and we just eat whatever. So the first thing I want you to do, mentally, like I said, you've got to make a mind shift. It has to be a lifestyle where you decide, I am going to incorporate all these healthy foods. And once in a while, you know, 70, 80, or 90% of the way we look is what we're eating. Exactly, so once in a while, it's okay to treat yourself and eat whatever it is that you want to eat. But most of the time, you want to eat healthy foods, and you want to make sure you have a lot of vegetables. That's number one. Okay. Number two, a lot of people skip their breakfast. In this essence, or they skip meals because they're saying, you know what, I want to lose weight.
Yeah.
And so what happens is, when you skip your meals, you end up several things. Number one, you crave the wrong things. So you might find yourself, especially around the 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock hour, you're asking for snacks. And the snacks you're asking for, your body's asking for, are usually the carb-loaded, either the mandazis, the cakes. Because again, you're not balancing your metabolism, which is what we're shooting for. We're shooting for us to balance our metabolism. So don't skip meals. Another thing that happens when you skip your meals, your body is thinking, I am not getting any nutrients. So what I need to do is I need to hold on to fat, because fat is energy, right? And your body needs energy. So when you're not feeding it, it's going to hold on to fat. And instead of you losing weight, you're basically holding on to fat. So don't skip your meals. The most important thing is, again, look at your lifestyle. Look at how many meals in a day can you eat, and then try to fit that in there.
Exactly.
Then the other thing, there's a lot of pictures on Instagram where people post pictures where, you know, especially, and people post their food.
Everybody's a nutritionist on social
media.
Right.
And also people are posting pictures of how they look.
Exactly.
You know, initially we're always putting our best foot forward. But it's always good to be very honest with yourself.
Very true.
I'm letting you know, it's not every day that I have a flat belly. There are days I'll wake up and the belly is like bloated and I'm thinking what happened? And that's normal, because there's the fluctuations that happen on a day-to-day basis. There could be imbalances in your hormone. It could be PMSing, especially for women. It could be the meal that you ate last night. So don't let these pictures ruin and distort our minds, thinking that, hey, I am shooting for a perfect body, because nobody has that perfect body.
All right.
However, if you choose on eating these meals throughout the day, what I want you, Sarah, to focus on is, how do you feel? Do I have energy after your meal? Do I have great energy? Do I feel like I've controlled my cravings? Do I feel like my hunger is sort of, I've managed these hunger levels, right? So you're looking at your hunger. Is my energy up, and have I controlled my cravings?
Exactly.
So you need to listen and to know your body really, really well.
All right, perfect. And you know, you have been talking to us for the last 3 days, actually, from Monday, Tuesday, today is Wednesday.
Yes.
And you've been telling us about your journey. And I'd like our viewers actually to have a look at how you looked before this, you know, because we're just not talking for the sake of talking and passing time.
Yeah, I think
this is something that really does work here. So do we have those pictures?
Yeah, I think it's important for the viewers to get to see my journey, where I came from. It's important for them to see that this is just not how I've been. And it's important for them to see that if you make a mind shift and if you decide, yes, I am going to transform my life, your body can actually change. You can be healthy from the inside out. And I also tell clients, please don't focus on the outside. It's good. It's nice. I'm sure people appreciate that. But always also look on the inside.
Exactly.
Again, how are you feeling? Is your energy levels, are they controlled? Are you not sleeping at work when you're not, you know what I mean? So those are some of the things that you need to look at. And also, this is huge, what I call non-scale victories. So you're not stepping on a scale every single day. Because again, our hormones fluctuate. So one day you could be a certain amount of kilos, the next another one. And so mentally, it's important for us to be balanced mentally, that you're not thinking about, I need to be a specific weight. Because you could be at that specific weight, but you feel crappy. You feel hungry. You feel depressed. You feel tired. You're always thinking about, what am I going to eat? What am I going to eat? Where the whole idea is, how do I get healthy? How do I lose weight without messing myself up psychologically, where I'm constantly thinking about, this is exactly what I need to eat.
All right.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, unfortunately, we do have a problem, and we cannot have those pictures coming up, so it's okay, it's fine. So thank you so much for joining us today.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, our time is up.
Okay.
But of course, we're seeing you tomorrow. It's our last day.
It is, yes.
Sure. And people have been asking about your social media handle, especially Twitter.
Okay.
So maybe you can just give that.
Absolutely. So our social media handle on Twitter is Treasure Fitness. YouTube is Treasure Fitness. Instagram is treasure.fitness, and on Facebook it's Treasure Fitness, and our website is www.treasurefitness.com, where we coach families, we coach corporates, we coach one-on-one clients. So if anyone is looking to transform their lives, families, we work with a lot of families, and corporates, that's something that we absolutely are willing to come and help people transform their lives.
All right, tomorrow we shall be talking about that.
Yes.
Families, corporates, and individuals, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you so much. We shall see you again tomorrow.
Thank you, Miss Sarah.
That was amazing.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for feeding me.
You're very welcome.